Hi guys, welcome back to today's video. We are building a new mech. This is going to be a new series of highly intelligent mechs. Now, I'm just going to say, let's just jump right into it. But before we do, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So, we're going to take this 6x4 platform, and we're actually going to use, this is going to be our base to our machine, because I feel like this is basically a medium scale. This will be like a smaller version of, these will be a bigger version of the utilities mechs, and a smaller version of the other mech that we built, the utilities mech. The other utilities mech, like the one that's real tall that has two like, it's got two options between human option and then a, well, robot option. This series will have two options just like that one. But here we go. So we're going to take these hinge pieces and just slap a 1x2 on top of them and put two of them at the bottom of your build. Just like that. Now the next thing is take these little curve pieces. They kind of look weird. Forget what they're called though. And snap them right on top of them. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay. The next thing, add any 2x2 and snap that right in the middle. Next thing you want to do is add this little piece. I forget what it's called, but it's very useful. This is going to be where a minifigure, or that's where a minifigure can stand. And then finally, and then put a little 4x1 across the plate, just like that. Next thing you want to do is actually take this piece right here. Very important. And this I made by taking a 1x2 brick and slapping it on these hinge pieces, and then putting these little slanted pieces. You could just use the singles, but I personally would use the 1x1. I just had to use something at the time. So, with that being said, before we do, also make sure, before I forgot this part, just put on a 2x2 to make sure there's enough distance between the gap, and then put on your little hood piece. Then take these, or any other or just a flat 1x2. These just act as nozzles for the mech. Just gives it some more detail and gives it that, well, mech shape. The next thing that we're going to do is actually turn around your piece, and you want to snap these little L-shaped pieces, or it could just be one 2x4 piece across. I just use that for, again, extra detail. Next thing that we're going to do is actually make the cockpit be more round. So before we do that, make sure your minifigure, any minifigure you have at the time, open this part and then stuff he or her in the cockpit, and then just lift it up, and then there. If your minifigure is sitting like this, then congratulations, you have it built right. If she or he is not sitting like this, then go rewind the video and try to, well, rebuild it. So the next thing that we're going to do is actually take these parts which I used by using this little like pinch piece, I forget what it's called though, and you stick it in the hole of on this, like, they're like fingers for the for mechs, and you snap that on a little wedge piece, and then you just have to put that right behind your minifig, and it should come down. Just make sure it clears your minifig, which you can see. Make sure this little hole does not show the minifig, and if it doesn't, then you're good. If it does, try and rewind the video and rebuild it. Do that with the same other side. Remember, the material list was at the beginning of the video. The next thing that you want to do is take a handlebar piece, but there is a difference between these handlebar pieces. There are short ones and there are long ones. You want the long ones for this one, otherwise it'll be too short and it won't fit on your, it should fit like this. If it doesn't, then you should probably go find another bar piece. It should fit like this. Once you have that done, next thing that you want to do is actually take these little 1x2 hinges, and then you want to take this special piece. You do have to use this time. You do have to get one of those this time. And you snap it right on the middle to keep it like that. This then goes right on the handlebars, just like so. And then there, your person now has something to look through. This acts as holes for your person to see through. Person also should sit in your cockpit like this, so then you can just open it up, and you can take your person out, or you could just close her in there and leave her like that. The next thing that we want to do is actually build the rest of this cockpit, because it's not completely done. So the next thing we're going to do is grab a 2x2 and snap it in the middle. Make sure that this gap is not filled. If you did it my way, put these little connector hinge pieces, don't add anything yet, on both sides. Then finally, this piece might be a little bit more rare, but grab this piece, which will give a more, I forget what it's called, but it's one of those pieces that have like those snappers on it. So then snap that right on the back. Make sure it's able to go forward like that, and make sure it doesn't go straight up. The next thing, and make sure this piece is just showing here. The next thing that we're going to do is actually decorate this top a bit. So take one of these like spyglass pieces, snap it on, and then for extra detail, if you're one of the people that want extra detail, just put on some studs to make it look like that's like computer and systems and firing systems. Next thing you want to do is actually build the head to the robotic side, which is using a inward snot brick. That's what I'm officially calling these guys, and snapping a little blue clear wedge piece, and then snapping a little stud with a hole on the bottom. Then you can take your torso, and actually make sure to take this back before opening it. You can open your torso, just like so, and you can take your pilot right out. The next thing you want to do is then enclose this torso, put your handlebar piece like that, and then finally put the head on inward like that. And then, now that you guys then just close it off, and you guys have a robotic part, makes it look like this is like a robotic mech. So now that you guys have that, just set that anywhere you want, and the next thing we're going to be doing is building the arms. So for the right arm to this build, we want to take one of these hinge pieces right here. It should be turned kind of like, you play around with it and turn it kind of like this. It should look like this. Studs on this, studs on top, and then studs on the left side. Next thing you want to do is grab one of these arm pieces and snap it around top. This is going to act like our we use this in a lot of videos. It's like an arm grabbing mechanism. We used it for the C-12s as well. It kind of opens like this, and it has the ability to spread out like that. So once you guys have that with the arm pieces, the top will be able to do it, but not the bottom. I'm going to show you why in a second. But do that. Next thing, if you're doing the weapons mods too, add a stud. This is only for the weapons mod, and then put on that piece. Then grab one of these like lightsaber looking pieces, but they have two studs coming out of each end, and then take any arm and then just snap it on, just like that. This will actually be able to carry the mag to the mech. This is only if you're doing the extended version. So you guys now have the arm to this thing. Now it is a little bit big. Finally turn your piece. Yeah, just leave it like that. That's how it should be like. So now take this piece, which is basically, it's one of these like one hinge pieces with it's not a ball hitch piece. It's one of these one hinge pieces snapped on to a 2x1, and then you add a 2x1, and then you snap it right on there. Then the next thing you want to do is snap it on to your ball hitch piece, and then take another one of these 2x1 pieces, and then snap it on the inward side. It should look like this. Next thing you want to do is actually take one of these, or it could just be a 2x2. I like this for extra detail. Snap it on, make sure these little studs are going down and not up. Then the next thing you want to do is add on a little shield piece, and then there you go. You have a robotic arm that when you can now snap on to your robot. Now he has an arm. Cool, right? Now the next thing we're going to do is actually build the right leg. So the next thing that you want to do to start off, because we want to build this guy from the top down. Now grab any one of these, like, oh, I forgot what these are called, but 1x4 tiles, and grab one of these 2x4 tiles, and then put any decoration you want on it. Snap one of those hinge ball pieces on top, and then put a stud on a 2x2. Not a stud. A 2x1 piece on a 2x2. Next thing you want to do is you want to make a new piece. So this piece is made out of mostly ball joints, but it has one of these like double side ball joints, and then use this, which is kind of like a microphone. This used to be Lego's old microphone. They're also found in mech sets because they have it's a ball hitch, but it has a long little handlebar piece on the bottom. Then take on the top of this, remember this is a sideways 1x2. Then put a 1x2 on top. Make sure it has studs on it. Snap it on the other one. Snap it on your 2x2. Then take this piece that we built from the beginning and snap it all together. Your build should look like this. This is our thigh to our robot. And then take any 2x1 bricks and then put a 1x1 stud with a hole in it on it, and then twist. Make sure you're holding it like this. Grab a 6x1 and put it on. Do the same with the other side. And then bam, you have a foot. This is our foot to our mech. Make sure, then push it in pretty much a little bit, but not all the way. So then your guy has the ability to move. Now you have a right leg. The next thing you want to do to that is you just want to snap that on your mech. He's already looking nice. So this is also medium scaled, so it's not the big scaled one that we did earlier. So the next thing that you want to do is actually take one of these snap joints. That's what I'm calling these. They kind of look like this, and they snap. Next thing you want to do is add a magazine on it. So it should be inward so the mech can grab the magazines. Makes it great for stop motions. And then take a double-sided lightsaber piece and a handlebar piece and snap it into a all-sided 1x1 snot brick. Then put a stud on the end, and then finally you have this. Make sure to put the ammo box on. Then snap it right on the bottom, and you have a little gun for your mech. And now just take another one of these guys and snap them on. Take another one. Basically, you're doing the same thing you did on the other side for your shoulder plates. And then there you go. You have a gun arm. Now the next thing, basically do the same thing that you did. So I'm going to easily make this happen. And there we go. Editor, make sure to add some special effects. The next thing you want to do is just stand this guy up. And then there you go. You have a awesome little utilities mech with a cool arm. And here's one of the stop motion things that you can do. You can have his arm come over like this, and then his arm come like this. Make sure to easily make it jump from this part to this piece to this piece. And then basically he's taking the mag, and then he can reload it after. But there is a upgrade. We call this a jetpack guy. So if you want this little jetpack that I made, we'll just go over it real quick. Take any battery from any of the space sets, put of course, 1x1 hole stud with a hole in the middle, snap it on with one of these handlebar pieces, then put a stud on the bottom. Take one of these round pieces or a 2x2 with a hole in the middle, and then snap it in there. For these jet pieces, they're kind of like helicopter pieces. They're in a helicopter jungle set. You can take these and snap them onto just a double-sided snot brick. Then just put it in the middle just like that. And then put these rough 1x2 bricks on each side, one of these 1x2 studs, and then put any black handlebar piece for a Nintendo. And then at the end of that, you just snap that on the back, and then there you go. You have your jetpack robot. You can also move his head. Good for stop motions as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye.